Well, hello everybody. Matt from Just Stack It here. And it is that time of year again. No, I don't mean Christmas. I mean it is time to stop stacking precious metals like gold and silver. Or some would have you believe that. Now, why do I say this? I was wandering through the garbage can that is Facebook in one of the stacking groups, and I found a post. And I bookmarked it, and I figured I'd come back a couple days later because I was getting discouraged by the lack of information in the comments. Now, the good news is the comments did get better as more people came around and added to the conversation. But initially, it was a very bleak outcome for silver specifically and precious metals in general. Now, we're going to go over this post today and some of the comments and briefly talk about why some people are just misguided in the realm of precious metals. So, first, here, we're going to start with the original post. And I have removed all of the names and identities of the people to protect their integrity. Here is the post. After stacking for almost 5 years, I'm starting to question, is stacking silver a good idea? Hasn't performed as good as I thought. I'm trying to stay positive, but just wondering if anyone else feels the same. So the original post is a very interesting thing because they're just a little worried that their investment is not going the way that they had hoped. Silver's not a get rich quick scheme. I think all of us can agree to that. It is a long term strategy to hedge your money against inflation and other things in the market that might otherwise devalue your money, as in your fiat currency. And that is why primarily people take their money and invest in things like commodities, or in this case, precious metals, to lock in the value of their money at a specific time frame, not necessarily to come out ahead. But they're worried. The original poster is just concerned. They've been stacking for 5 years. That's longer than I have. And they're just not seeing the effects of their investment. My suggestion here is that they have the wrong idea about their investment into precious metals. Maybe they were taught wrong, maybe they are ill informed, but we are going to go through some of these comments and try to clear this up. The first comment that I really looked at and thought was a smart comment is this one. Silver and gold are good for long-term investment. Gold hovers around 2K now. 20 years ago, it was going for a little over 300. For years, silver was around $5.25. Now, around $23 per ounce. Now, I will say, I have not checked their math and the dates and times on this, but I think in general, most of us can assume that that is primarily correct. Silver and gold are a long-term game, and you are most likely not stacking for yourself unless you are young and trying to stack for your own retirement in hopes of appreciation over that period. That is one way to go. But most of us, myself included, are primarily stacking to hold our wealth, and then at some point, upon our inevitable demise, we are going to leave this treasure trove to our kids and family for them to fight over and do with as they please. But they will be in a much better position long from now with these precious metals than we are today. Next up is this comment from a poster. My opinion, you will never get rich off of it unless the economy crashes, which is a long shot, but is a possibility in decades or generations to come. Eventually, the Ponzi scheme out government runs will collapse. I don't know about their English on that one, but I think we get the idea. the Ponzi scheme is going to come crashing down. The house of cards, the kicking the can down the road, the printing money out of thin air like we seem to do by the billions every single day. That is what they're referring to. And that is absolutely true. Now, when will the clock run out? Unfortunately, we don't know. And they always seem to find tricks up their sleeves to continue their Ponzi scheme and their manipulation of the economy. But it's safe to say that when that clock does stop ticking, you better be holding something of tangible value. Silver, gold, food, copper, lead, brass. You get my idea. You better have the things that you need when that time comes. That's why we always try to prepare. And if you end up on the prepper side of YouTube, you will find a lot of commonality between stackers and preppers, and many of us are one and the same, and there is good reason for that. We share so many similarities in terms of just not letting somebody else decide your destiny and doing everything that you can to prepare for any eventuality that you're able to. It is manipulated beyond your imagination and still insanely suppressed. Once the debt market blows off, then we will get some real price discovery. And this is along those same lines. The credit card debt in America is astronomical. Many people are not even living paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck is respectable and unfortunate, but I think most of us have been there at some point in our lives. Most people are not living paycheck to paycheck. Most people are living credit card payment to credit card payment. And this is disastrous, not only for them individually, but for the U.S. economy overall. The amount of debt that people are racking up without the ability to pay that debt is extremely concerning. And that's what they're referring to here, the debt market. And it is just going up, and much like the Ponzi scheme, could fall at any time. This user writes, I pretty much quit with silver, unless it's something cool I want. I think in this realm they're referring to some of the premium silver that we see out there. I do gold almost exclusively now. And I know there's a big argument about silver versus gold. They are cousins from the same family, maybe even brothers. They are very closely related. Yes, silver will go up by a larger margin. Yes, gold holds its value in tumultuous times a little better than silver. There are positives and drawbacks to each. But I think most of us can agree, no matter what you're holding, if you're holding enough of it, you're going to be in good shape. Now, if you have the money to be all in on gold, more power to you. That is going to work out well in the long run for you. If all you can afford and your budget constraints only allow for adding a few ounces of silver every week or so to your stack, do not be discouraged. You are still better than probably 90% of the general population as far as financial preparedness. You are doing something to lock in your wealth and hold it, something that you cannot easily spend. And that's a key for silver and gold. See these posts more and more often. Glad people are waking up from their stacker delusions. Here we go. The stacker delusions. And I hate to break it to these type of people, but if you were sold a bill of goods for precious metals performing well or rising quickly, then you were sold wrong. Precious metals, as we've already stated, is a long-term game. And if you got this information from somewhere, you were unfortunately misinformed. Spend more time on YouTube. There are a lot of us out here. You have to be very wary about the information that you take in. If it seems hyped up, if it seems maybe even a little too energetic or too good to be true, it probably is. Silver stacking and gold stacking can be a very boring thing. It is fun, it is entertaining for us, but it is very boring in the day to day. Your accumulation, your purchases might excite you, but as the market moves and time passes, there's not a whole lot of change in the day to day in terms of stacking. That is not the bill of goods that you should have been focused on. Silver and gold will perform well over time, and that is about it. Now, if something crazy does happen, you will benefit from that, but do not count on it. They are not a traditional investment, and this is where everyone gets confused. They listen to the hyped up channels on YouTube, and I'm not faulting them for it. I understand they're trying to do whatever it is they're trying to do, but it's unfortunate when they misinform, especially new stackers. Seasoned stackers are smart enough to see through the hype and the BS that some people put out. But new stackers are especially susceptible to these ideas that they put out that gold and silver are just going to skyrocket 6 months from now, and people get left holding a bag that never appreciated to the level they thought because they believed bad information. So do your best. If everybody's not saying it, it's probably not true. Get reasonable, realistic advice wherever you can, and don't buy into the hype. Next up, we have this comment. I stacked like my life depended on it for years. I wish I would have put more into crypto back then. Probably will never sell my precious metals, but it's Bitcoin and Ethereum all the way now. Now, stackers, take a breath. I understand. You hear crypto and you automatically get upset. But there are a lot of positives in this comment. Number one, they built a good foundation of precious metals, which they admit they have no plans on selling anytime soon. Then they mention that now they are more crypto focused in terms of their investment. Now, we don't know a whole lot about this portfolio, but there's a lot of positives to it. They still see the value in their precious metals. They, I believe, in this case, are just looking for a more immediate return. And I would argue they're not upset about their precious metals. They just changed their strategy in terms of their financial investments. They were investing in precious metals for a reason. They're keeping them for that same reason. They know there is inherent value there. But now, for whatever reason, they're becoming a little more risky, and they want to throw their money into crypto. There is nothing wrong with that. I actually applaud this person for realizing that their goals had changed and shifting gears. This is exactly what investing is about. Tomorrow, I might stop stacking precious metals and get into stocks again because one of my friends keeps showing me his portfolio and he is just performing great. I mean, 40, 50% over the last 6 months or a year. And I won't lie to you, it's kind of upsetting to see those kind of gains while I'm stacking so heavily in terms of coins and precious metals. But different strokes for different folks. He's doing things his way. I'm doing things my way. We are both better off than the majority of Americans financially. This is probably my favorite comment, and I want to throw it in just to give us all something to laugh about. This user writes, stack all of the metals so the cyborgs can't use them for parts. And this could not be further from the truth. Who knows what is going to happen in 20 or 50 years? I don't think any of us can predict it, but with AI and some of the automation and things kind of merging, Who knows? Maybe we'll get those T800s we've been looking for since the 80s. But I tell you, it is very hilarious and probably not that far off. I feel like we will have robots eventually. And if we really do go into some kind of hyper technological mechanized society, you can bet things like gold and silver are going to go up in price. And here we will wrap up with this comment. The people behind who really make money from silver are those in control of their trading index in New York and London. We know who they're talking about. Plus those dealers who claimed prices going to the moon every time silver price gets taken out. It's all an organized scam for those in the know. Silver reality is about insurance, protection of your hard work, and a backup. The rest are all just plain speculation by those with their own agenda. I think here too, we're referring back to the manipulation of the markets by the LBMA and the COMEX. And in this case, he kind of throws some of the larger dealers in there, which I like to think most of our bullion dealers are pretty on the level. I think in this term, they mean a different kind of dealer, but it is true. The large people in the market unfortunately benefit from the ups and downs. They can make purchases lower than we can buy it. They add premiums to it. They are always going to make money on their precious metals, no matter what happens. So there is manipulation. The stock of the COMEX and the LBMA are unbelievable at best. We never really get accurate numbers, a lot of us think, and we think that some of the orders, and we've proven this in different ways for different funds, making fake orders to manipulate the price. So these things do exist. Just rest assured that eventually the house of cards will come down. The price cannot be suppressed infinitely. And eventually we will have real price discovery in terms of precious metals, silver specifically. So I wanted to make this video today to really just show everybody what some of the sentiment is out there. And again, early on in this post, it looked a little bleak as far as people's thoughts. But then some of these thoughtful and careful comments came through that really reinforced my faith in the stacking community, that most people do know what they're investing in, they know why they're investing in it, and they are comfortable continuing on. The problem is those that get misinformed, buy into snake oil or whatever have you, and then feel neglected or lied to at some point in the past when silver doesn't go to the moon. It is not that kind of investment. If you're looking for that, I would advise you to go look elsewhere, but I would still recommend that you get a nice foundation of precious metals to fall back on just in case your other investments don't go the way you plan. That's it for me today, guys. I appreciate all of your time and attention. Tell me in the comments what you think about this discussion on Facebook and the comments therein. And let me know how you differentiate the hype from the fact in your stacking journey. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.